welcome to this week's Omsi 2 news. Tonight we have some news about the brand new update for the Studio Polygon 400 MMC version 1.2. In addition, Masterswitch Studios has overhauled its site as well as announcing in an implicit way a brand new pack that will be developed in the future. Furthermore, we showcase a new repaint for the Studio Polygon Enviro 400 MMC that makes it look like a BYD EV City. And finally, some news about the recently updated Grundorf version 3 map. This is the Omsi2 news, let's get into it. So, first of all, the Studio Polygon 400 MMC received an update called version 1.12, which might have gone a bit under the radar since what it includes and the changes aren't anything of too much significance. But nonetheless, they have added a HOF for West Country version 3 Gainsborough Phase 2, since these are the new UK maps that were recently released. In addition, they also added in a Grundorf HOF for those of you who want to use the LHD variants of the otherwise RHD bus. The bus of the West Country HOF has been split into two formats. You have an Arriva Stagecoach variant. There's also some additional displays that have been implemented into the Smarten HOF. A National Express Stretch Hire HOF has been created. You have a Sutton Coldfields HOF. Now this map, I'm not too sure where one gets it from because it's not available on Fellows Film or Virtual Hub, which are the two mainstay websites for Omsi2 UK mods, but nonetheless that's been added in as well. And a bit more of probably interest to some is West Country version 3 announcements have been added in, and people have noted that these are basically been made using Siri. And there's also been some iBus announcements added in. So the Studio Polygon 400 MMC, as you may know, the London spec was missing some announcements. If you went up to the playable announcements, you had 1 to 13, only 1 to 4 actually worked. But thanks to Xkiz, because it's so pixelated, .km, they basically have added in now the remaining announcements. In addition, they've also done some minor bug fixes, changes, and they've removed some Merry Christmas blinds. Why did they remove the Merry Christmas displays? I'm not too sure, because again, they'll have to implement that into a future update, but sure, it is what it is. And that's really the Studio Polygon 400 MMC version 1.12 update in a nutshell. The next thing we have is a lot of you noticed that the Masterswitch Studios website has been overhauled and its look has been completely changed. As you can see here on the homepage, it looks completely different to before. You're greeted with a screenshot of both the Masterbus Gen 3 pack as well as a bus from the Wheeling pack. And then here just gives you a bit of information about themselves, which I'm not going to go through because I'm sure most of you know that and it's not of particular relevance to the news. The next thing we have is what you'll notice on the page is you have 3 packs listed there. You have as well as Yorkshire version 3. So you have Yorkshire version 3, which isn't out yet. You have this Gen 3 pack, which is out yet, and then you have some information about the Wheelings pack right here. This is the first pack, and in the first pack it will tell you what it includes. So it includes the B7 RLE, B8 RLE, B8 RLE with different lengths, B8 RLE-A, and then the Street Tech single decker, and then you also have some stuff that will be added in post-release, much like the Gen 3 pack. You'll also have a B7 RLE with a Euro 4 engine, and you'll have a Wheeling SP200. So that's really the Wheeling pack in a nutshell, what can be expected, and this is the next pack that will be released by Masterswitch Studios, because Yorkshire version 3, although it's affiliated with Masterswitch Studios, is being worked on mainly by a separate dev. So for all purposes, just for convenience, we'll consider them a bit separate. And then in addition, you'll notice that you also have the Wheeling Classic pack, and then something else that's new is now there's also a Masterbus Environmentals pack. So on the previous, it was known that the Masterbus pack would be split into 2 Classics and Wheelings, and it was also known that the Gen 2 pack would eventually get made, perhaps. And then if things go to plan, but what we notice now is that an Environmentals pack has been announced. People have speculated that basically this is just the non-diesel and non-fuel variants, so electric, hydrogen, that kind of thing, variants of the Wheeling pack. So it's basically just the more environmentally friendly bus versions. One thing to note though is it does seem that there is a bit of a deviation from trend. So as with the Gen 3 pack, where all the Gemini 3s were included in one pack, all the Wheeling buses essentially seem to be split into 3 packs. So there seems to be a bit of a change in plan, and there seems to be less variants available per pack. That's a trend that seems to be appearing, but nonetheless, what exactly the environmental packs will include is unknown. But while the sounds and the driving will certainly be different, the appearance won't be too much different from that of the V-Link pack, if indeed the environmental packs includes the basically environmentally friendly variants of the V-Link, which it most likely will. Some people were speculating it could be a 400 MMC H-City, but this is very unlikely, as a Enviro 400 MMC has already been made, so making the model just for the H-City would be very time consuming. Set likewise goes for the 200 MMC. It will be more logical for someone to just use V2D's files, which have now been made open source, and make a environmentally friendly version, i.e. electric version of the Enviro 200 MMC using that rather than doing it from scratch, which basically narrows it down to the V-Link pack, very likely, for the environmental. So basically the environmental version of the V-Link pack. And then the Masterbus Gen 2 pack, basically, as you can see, it's last in the priorities. The way it's done is it's in order. So after the Masterbus V-Link pack, we'll have the V-Link Classics, then the environmental pack, and finally the Gen 2 pack. And then the final thing for this week's Omsi 2 news is from the same repainter that made the City Repaint for the Studio Polygon 400 MMC, has also made a BYD EV City 400, so 400 EV City Repaint. And as you can see here, you can see a screenshot of it right here. It includes variants of both Go Ahead London and CPT. If you want to see a full video of this, I'll link up a card, and you can just click on that card to enjoy the full video. And this again is available on Fellowsfilm, and it's a nice addition to the Studio Polygon 400 MMC pack, adding in that extra bit of variety. And that brings us to an end. Oh, sorry, there's also Grundorf. And finally, my bad, we have the Grundorf version 3. So this is a map that many of you may be familiar with. It seems to be a fairly popular LHD map, but basically there has been an update on the web disk to the Grundorf version 3 map, or the Grundorf region 3 or version 3 map. And basically they've overhauled the line system, changing up there. As you can see there's a list of all the lines. Now the lines will be split into regional lines, school buses, shuttle buses, and night lines. And then in addition to the new lining system, they've also done some changes with passenger information monitors. They've added in announcements. They've done some redesign in places, spicing up the area. And then as well, they've also improved the AI traffic, and they've included basically a subcontractor. I'm guessing that means that they've added a new bus company aimed at the BBE. And that brings us to an end to this week's Omsi 2 news. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button to stay on top of the Omsi 2 news for your regular updates, as well as simulation news videos. And of course, join the Discord for even more simulation on Omsi 2 news and discussion regarding everything transport simulation. So, speaking very fast, but we all hate vlogs. You're all probably tuned out by now. Bye for now. Until next time.